Hey, I'm Elizabeth with Miss Elizabeth Crochet. I wanted to get a video out to you guys. I'm working on one of the things that I set up in my community tab that I wanted to work on for y'all. But I'm taking forever to release a video, so I needed to do something and get a video out. So something is better than no video at all. I gotta make contact. I'm gonna be clearing my throat. This time, I was gonna say this time of year, but actually any time of year for me in Oklahoma. I don't know why I'm saying that. Oklahoma is my home state. So any time for me at all is an allergy time of year. But every change of season or every change of weather, and in Oklahoma that's about 6 or 7 times a day, my allergies decide to give me all kinds of different kinds of hits, and usually it's in my throat, like sound like an old man, like they get up in the morning and they make all them noises with their throats. That's me. So I'm drinking coffee, of course I'm drinking coffee. I had to get up today and make a run to the cardiologist, because what old lady doesn't go to the cardiologist? Oh, the healthy ones. He did give me a clean bill of health today. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I was happy about that. He did kind of hurt my feelers a little bit. He said I had heart disease, and I was like, I have heart disease? And I got a little upset about it. And he patted me on the arm gently. And he said, you had a heart attack. And I had to balloon angioplasty your artery. Yes, dear, you have heart disease. And that was a hard pill to swallow. I guess even though I did have a heart attack on December 2nd, 2023. I had a heart attack, and I blamed it on the Christmas tree. I was trying to put up my Christmas tree. It was my first pre-lit tree ever. I bought a skinny tree because I had put up my big fat beautiful tree the year before in my living room, and this was a house that we had bought in 2022, and that big tree that I had in my previous house, which was huge, and had 2 living rooms, and those living rooms were large. That tree was a behemoth. It did not quite fit this living room. And my co-star, this one, didn't like that it was encroaching on his space in front of the window, because he likes to police the neighborhood from the front window in the living room. Well, it was a little bit in front of the window. He didn't like that at all. And he didn't intentionally do this, but near the end of the season of 22, he accidentally, and it was an accident, knocked over my big pretty tree with his badunkadunk, because he does have one of those. He has a lot of junk in his trunk. So that big booty and my big tree could not occupy the same space at the same time. Let's just say that. Physics. And then Rhaegal just looked at me like, that ain't my fault. Shouldn't have had that tree in my way. So, usually a dog will get a guilty conscience, and look at you with your head down, No, not Rhaegal. He was like, I tried to tell you. That thing was in my way. Move it. So, he wasn't sorry. Not a bit. And I guess I can't say that I blame him. That tree was too big for the living room. He does have a job to do. He is the protector of the whole neighborhood, according to him. And he has to do his job from that window, or that one, if we're up here. So, anyway, that being said, I bought, for the next season, and henceforth, a pre-lit skinny tree. One of those pencil trees, you know, that are real skinny. And I was unpackaging it and trying to put it up. And women have weird heart attacks. I started feeling like I couldn't catch my breath. I was like, this is odd. I couldn't take a breath fully in or exhale it fully out. And then I felt like I had this sharp pain right here, like, not like any heart attack I'd ever heard described before, really. And it was like somebody had pierced me through here, and it went straight out my back, right by my shoulder blade. I was like, this is odd. And then I kind of had this shooting pain over into my shoulder. I was like, did I pull something? I haven't done anything yet to really pull anything. This tree doesn't weigh anything. It probably weighed about 35 pounds. I was like, huh. I was trying to think, you know, I went back in my head. Did I pull a muscle or something? And meanwhile, I started to feel worse. Could this be a heart attack? My blood pressure wasn't high. I usually run a low blood pressure anyway. My heart rate was a little high, but I run a high heart rate anyway. In fact, I have to take medication to slow it down. And I told my husband, I think I'm going to need to go to our hospital, which is about a 10-minute drive from here. So, do you need an ambulance? I was like, nah. Just drive me over there and let them run their little tests, and then I can come home and go to bed. It wasn't the first time that I needed to have an EKG for not a heart attack. For symptoms that could have been a heart attack but weren't. So, anyway, excuse me for the clearing of my throat, but I'm sorry. It's annoying. So we went to the heart hospital, which is 10 minutes from here. And I guess when I told them my symptoms, it sounded a little heart attacky to them. So they got on the phone with I messed up on that. Side note, I happened to be working on the pattern I wrote and then had cleaned up by AI. I was doing a pattern test on my own pattern, and I had to pull it out and rewrite the pattern. So that's what I'm doing now, is retesting the pattern I wrote. So anyway, back to my experience. My cardiologist had them admit me. They drew the blood, they did the heart enzymes and all the things, and they admitted me. I thought for sure we would be going home because, you know, I couldn't be having a heart attack. I was only 52 years old. Anywho, they told me that my heart doctor wanted me to stay overnight, and he wanted to put me in the cath lab in the morning. And I was like, in the cath lab? He said, well, your EKG and your troponin is not too bad yet, but your symptoms made him want you to stay. So he wants to get you in the cath lab first thing. And when I say first thing, when they said first thing, they meant my heart doctor woke up and said, y'all roosters, lazy as you are, need to get up. Because the sun hadn't even come up yet. And they had me rolling into the cath lab. But anyhow, it was cold in there. And I was nervous and scared. And my doctor has the most calming demeanor ever. I was awake through the whole thing. And he told me while he was in there that I had 100% blockage in my rear descending artery. And I said, how could that be when I scored a 0 on my calcium test last year. 2022, I had one of those CAT scans done right there at the heart hospital on my heart. And, or, like, supposed to scan you to where you see if you have any plaque. I had 0. I scored a 0, which is the best score you can get. You can't get a better score than that. So he was quite pleased with me getting that and wasn't worried about me. Cue the rheumatoid arthritis. Apparently, if you have RA, all of that is, well, doesn't matter. Plus I take, I take medications and stuff, but I had high cholesterol and stuff. And if you have inflammation, like I do, and stuff, well, you can just get a plaque and have 100% blockage randomly and have a heart attack. That's what happened to me. Isn't that fun? No, it's not. It scared me pretty bad. And kind of like the same story that's going on with me right now with my MS. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. That's kind of reminds me of my life right now is reminding me of the hee-haw. The hee-haw song. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Oh. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I'm trying to stay positive, but I did get some bad news from my neurologist about my MS. But I did get good news from a cardiologist today. So he's not even, I've been going to see him like every 3 to 6 months for a while. And today, he said he didn't need to see me back for a year. So I was like, finally. I mean, I don't mind going to see him. He's a really good guy. Like I said, he has a real calming demeanor, and he's really sweet. And, when I said, I have heart disease, and he took he patted me on the arm, and very calming, told me, you had a heart attack. 100% blockage. I had to balloon your artery. That's heart disease. That's the very definition of heart disease. And took me a minute. It took me a minute to. I mean, I'm an intelligent person, but I think, you know, I could never picture myself as, you know, someone who had heart disease. So, anyway, he said he was not going to see me back unless I needed to be seen for a year. And at that time, he will do some other tests, you know, some of the big ones. But for now, I'm good. I'm good to go. So it was nice to hear at least the good stuff. Not the heart disease stuff, but the other stuff. Anyway, I didn't get on here to give you all my medical update. I don't even know why I did. Maybe I just didn't have nobody to talk to. And I don't have any. Just y'all. Well, I mean, I have children, but I don't think they really want to hear about Mom's junk. Anyway, this here hooded scarf is supposed to be easy, and it is. But here's what I did. I had counted out the number of stitches that it needed to be with this yarn. And then last night, oh, first of all, let me not skip ahead and not finish the first half of the story. I had figured it up where I thought the hood needed to be, how long I thought the hood needed to be to put it together and make a hood, all the things, and wrote the pattern. This was all in my head, and I was like, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Wrote it all out, corrected ChatGPT's mistakes, you know, put it in ChatGPT, corrected its mistakes, read it all, made sure it was all good to go in the pattern form. Because really all ChatGPT did was, you know, correct the pattern terminologies and stuff, and then added the stuff like the beginning, like here's your symbol, your materials, these are your materials, here's your gauge, all that stuff at the beginning of the pattern. Ain't nobody got time for that. I didn't want to mess with all that. So that's when I put it in there, I was like, do all that stuff. You know, do the whole thing, because mine was just like shorthand. And because when I do a pattern for myself, that's what I do. I shorthand it. And I don't intend for anybody else to be looking at my patterns. Just me. Just shorthand. Because when I do patterns for myself, it's just to remind myself this is what you did, and it's shorthand. It's crochet shorthand, not shorthand like for your boss back in the old days. But anywho, so when I decided to pattern test myself, good thing I did, I get all the way up to the length I wanted on my hood to close it, and I took the stitch markers. I thought, well, I'll go ahead and stitch marker this thing closed and try it on. The hood would have come out to about here. No, it wasn't right. I was so mad at myself. Irritated. Could have screamed. It's like, that's a whole lot of hood I gotta pull out now. And not only that, I've got it written in my pattern that you should make your scarf as wide as you want it to be before you start the hood. I go back and I pull out the hood, and then I look down, and my scarf is like that wide. Now, this is going to be a finished project when I'm done with it. It's not just something I'm going to toss aside. I'm actually going to want this either for me or for somebody, or sell it on my Etsy. That wide? Really? With a hood on it? Maybe just for a regular old scarf, but not for a hooded scarf. What was I doing? I tell you, I know what happened. I started my hood at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I was asleep, basically. I can crochet with one eye open, just like out of it. I don't know how to do it, but I can wake up the next day and go, how did I get that many rows done? Oh, yeah, I was mostly asleep. I might have to go back and correct some stuff because I really wasn't awake when I was doing that. So that's what happened. That was something I should have checked before I continued on with that hood. But anyway, I took it all out, the hood, and I took out, because the last row of the scarf is in both loops of the row, but the rest of it is textured, and it's in the back loop only. I don't know if you can see that. But, so I took out the last row, and made it wider. So now it will support a hood. Much better. It's much better. By the way, this yarn was pretty in the cake, but it is a whole lot prettier worked up. Man. But anyway, I wish I also add to that, I wish I would have bought enough to make a blanket with it, because it would have been really pretty, I think. But it's going to be really pretty as a hooded scarf. It's just gorgeous. I love it. I love these Karen anniversary cakes. I would buy all anniversary cakes all the time, I think, if they just made these. I love the 6-weight yarn, and it's squishy, you know. Ugh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's what this is made out of. And that's what several of you are wanting the pattern for. It's really just ripples. That's all it is. It's just lengthwise ripples. But, I mean, maybe everybody does their ripples different. I don't know. This may be different. I just kind of went... I kind of had to work it out, though, because I tried to look at a tutorial online, and I was like, this is not how I remember Granny doing a ripple when I was a kid. Maybe I remember wrong because I was a kid. The tutorial really didn't work for me. It kind of, maybe I do it like the tutorial but it wasn't working for me. Because like a tutorial that I saw online was like a 12 repeat. Mine's a 14. And it wasn't, the numbers just weren't working for me. But anyway, I had to go back and just go, okay, well, I'm going to have to figure this out. So mine's a little different than the one online. There is one online, but mine's work lengthwise, and mine's a 14 stitch repeat. But anywho, I kind of got sidetracked there. But yeah, the Karen anniversary cakes. I mean, I could work everything in an anniversary cake, but so then as I'm getting this thing worked out, I'm working on the hood now. I got to thinking, I don't think this is actually going to work, because this is a 6-weight, and I wrote my pattern for a 4. Dadgum. That's not going to math. I'm going to have to go back and rewrite it again. Son of a gun. Because I wrote it for the length, and so I had to start another one last night. in a worsted weight. I hate working with worsted weight yarn when I've just been working with a 6 weight yarn. So, I mean, I don't hate working with worsted weight. I just, just coming off of a 6 weight yarn, which is so much easier for me to work with, and I love it so much. And then going to that worsted weight yarn's like boring. Takes forever. So I found out that I have to write it again with different math. So I'm just rewriting the whole dang thing with different stitches and everything because just because this one is going to look like it looks, and I'm going to write this one for 6 weight yarn. And I don't know if I'm going to do a tutorial on it because I would have to use another one of my cakes over there. And I don't know how many people are going to have a 6 weight yarn to work with on a tutorial. So, yeah, you would have to have a 6 weight to do it. Or maybe a 5. I mean, a thick old 5. I mean, Karen cakes have 5 weights. I think, I had said previously that I thought the cinnamon swirls was this. It's not. It's a 4 or a 5. It's not a 6. That was disappointing. But, anyway, they do have some other fat yarn. I think they do have another 6 weight yarn, but I'm not sure which cake it is. They have so many cakes, Karen does. Got good yarn. The macchiato cake is a 5. I did it's got wool in it though, so if you're sensitive, be careful. I'm sensitive to wool, but I did my son-in-law's hexagon cardigan in the macchiato cake, and I had a little bit of itchiness with it, but not bad. Not so bad that I couldn't do the whole cardigan, and it's big cardigan. Long sleeves, long sleeves. Because he wanted it to be extra oversized. He wanted it to be as big as his husband's. And I was like, you're kind of little. And he's big guy. My son is about 5'11", probably about 215. And his husband's about 5'7", maybe about 150. Little guy. He wanted a big cardigan like his husband's, and I was like, I'll give you what you want. And I did, but that thing swallows him whole. That's what he wanted. That's what he got. I ain't seen him wear it yet. And it's extra fluffy. That's some good yarn. I really like it. That macchiato cake yarn. And they've got new colors. Ooh, I got to get my hands on some of that. But the reason why I brought it up is maybe my pattern will work with that yarn. Might be a little pricey. Well, I mean, working with them a little pricey too. But Michaels has really good sales all the time. And if you go there a lot, you should have they give you like free bucks. I don't know what that's called, but I get them all the time. They give you like dollars off your next purchase. Like you can go in there and get a whole cake of yarn for free because they give you the money for it. from your previous purchase. That's what I'm trying to say, but I can't think of the words because MS brain. That's how that works. Y'all are going to hear that a lot from me because it's just my life. And anyway, so, change gears. I have been watching, I want to give her a shout out, Crochet After Dark, her Vlogmas every night, and that's who I fell asleep to the other night with my crochet hook in my hand. She's very soothing to watch, and crochet. Her videos aren't super long, like mine. And she is getting more followers. She had a goal to reach 25 by the end of December, and the last I checked, she was like 46 or something like that. I'm sure she's got more by now. But, yeah, I really enjoy just basically listening to her, because if I'm crocheting, I'm probably not watching a lot. But I do glance up and I see her with her co-stars. She has pet co-stars like I do. And, or that's what I call them co-stars, because, you know, I call my babies co-star. Well, you can't see them now, but you can see part of Rhaegal. But, she has co-stars as well. And, she tells, like, her Vlogmas right now is, you know, kind of just, telling it, you know, life events or things like that. But I'm sure her, and she's crocheting. She crochets, while she does it. But anyway, I like her, and you guys should go subscribe and watch her channel. She's pretty awesome. I like her. But I just said that, but I said it again. Anywho, on to the next thing. The waterfall blanket, I did shoot a little bit of footage a couple of times on it. Then I realized what I shot, I think on the second, well, it had to have been on the second round of footage. I looked back at my, because I did the beginning row, and it was good. But then I went back and looked where I started the second row, and I messed up. So I have to reshoot that video, because I was going to, like, do, like, the first several rows, and then post that video. And then kind of like probably make it more than one video, I guess, because that's, I mean, it's a blanket. So I really don't know how to do it exactly, because I'm not crochet crowd type. I've never done anything like that before. I didn't mean that in kind of way. I'm just saying I'm brand new to this whole thing, and I've never done anything like that before. So bear with me on trying to figure this out. I want to give a walkthrough on my little one row repeat, basically, is what it is. But maybe, you know, we can crochet it mostly together or whatever. But I don't think you want to crochet with me on a 6-foot long blanket. But I figured I could just, like, speed it up or something. But, I get my foundation row done, and that part of it turned out. And then the second row, I was like, this is the row that's the repeat. And Elizabeth, what were you thinking? Because I'm sitting there looking at it going, what's this? You did that on video. There's actual proof that you messed that up. Thankfully, I did not publish that. So I have to go back and redo it. I didn't get very far in. In fact, I'll show you. I'm not going to show you, like, up close, because I don't want you to see how bad I messed up. But it's messed up. Oh, my cake is sitting on top of it. There we go. I didn't already pull it out, did I? No, I didn't. I pulled out some of it. There's the part I didn't pull out. Yeah. It's pretty as far as color, so I know that it is going to be pretty. But yeah. I did. I messed it up. So I got this much left to pull out. But yeah, it's long. And there's the colors, how they're coming out. Now I've really got to get started. And after I get done with this video, I am going to work on that video. Which I'm pointing that way because I've got, let me just show you. I've got cameras set up to do it. This is my actual phone that I use to phone people. But I didn't want to mess with my phone setup to video this. I can quickly dump this video to my computer and edit it and get it out to you guys. And then, well, I mean, it won't be like right now, because right now when I get done, I'm going to go ahead and start shooting that again. I am going to go ahead and tell you, I did just give you a whole medical rundown on today on my heart, but I've got some personal issues that I'm going through, major personal family issues, and then I've got major medical issues that I'm going through too. So it is causing me to kind of not be with it. So I'm trying. I really am. I really am sorry that my YouTube channel didn't really get off to that great of a start like I had planned. Life came along and set some traps for me. And I'm trying. I'm just trying. Long story short there, I'm not going to just like prolong that. The MS started out as in 2011 as relapsing remitting MS, and it was mild, supposedly, and it really has been. I haven't had very many relapses. I've had relapses, and you know, I've had to go to physical therapy, and I've had to be in the hospital a few different times, and you know, it hasn't really been, in the grand scheme of things, hasn't been as bad as what I've seen a lot of MS. And so I am thankful that through the course of things, I haven't had that hard of a time. I currently walk with a cane, and I have foot drop that just came on kind of suddenly. All of a sudden started dragging my feet, and I was like, that's one of the most annoying things when kids drag their feet, you know, and you're like, pick up your feet. What are you? Oh, that's annoying. Well, now I'm that person. And so, come to find out, I have foot drop. And, well, that's annoying because, well, it's annoying for many reasons, but one of the reasons it's annoying is it tripped me out of the blue, make me fall down. Because if my shoe grabs at the wrong time while my foot is dragging, I'll trip and not be able to gain my balance back and fall down. That sucks. And So I've had some other stuff that's been happening to me too, and this started really in 2023. The speech thing, some days it's worse than others. Sometimes I can be mid-sentence. I can be just flying right along, talking perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden I hit one word. It hits me. And it's usually an S word. Any word that has an S in it for some reason. Those words, well, that wasn't an S word, and that got me. But the S words are the ones that usually trip me up. But my speech got hit pretty hard in 2023. I had a customer service job. It was an all-phone job. And my speech just went out. I wasn't able to talk. And that was part of the relapse that I had. Turns out, fast forward to now, I had a major test done a few months ago. And in that test, they found out that my MS has changed from relapsing remitting to progressive MS. Not primary progressive, secondary progressive, which people with relapsing remitting can sometimes, after, a period of time, their MS can just flip to secondary progressive, and mine did. So instead of having periods of remission, I won't be having that anymore. Mine will just continue to progress. So I've been dealing with that diagnosis and my symptoms. Now, knowing that I'm not going to have any more remissions while dealing with these symptoms, it's been a little harder on me having to deal with the symptoms, knowing that I'm not going to have any more remissions. Like, this is your life now. Getting married. So, it's not easy when they just kind of hand you a plate that's a little too full, and you gotta eat it all, and you don't have a choice. And I'll just go ahead and throw this out there. My husband decided he wanted a divorce at the same time. Boy, what a depressing video. "23 years of marriage." 23 and a half. So, Merry Christmas. Sometimes life hands you lemons. I've just been dealing with a lot. And it hadn't been easy. Some of us, we have we have more to that we have to handle in life than we should have to handle. And that's what I have. I have had to handle a lot in life. And I am very thankful that I have God in my life. And I've been given the tools. I know what scriptures to read. I know there are scriptures to read. Some people don't even know to go to scripture. Or they don't even believe in God. And so when they are met with these battles, a lot of people they take extreme actions. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have my relationship with God. So, this wasn't supposed to be anything like that. Wasn't supposed to be a downtrodden post, sad in any kind of way. I didn't mean it to be anything like that. I was just trying to post about my messed up pattern. Well, I had to redo. I do kind of look a mess today. I rolled out the bed this morning and had to hit the ground running. That's laughable because this old girl ain't running unless something's after me. Can you see me running with my red cane? I might turn around and beat whatever it is with my red cane. If it's like a bear or something, I don't know. Maybe they'll get me first. You guys run on ahead. And I'll catch up if I can. But anyway. No, I had that appointment this morning at 9:30. And for some reason, when I woke up, it was like 8:45. And I'm like, I'll get up at 9 and I'll make it to my appointment. It wasn't registering in my brain that I was going to need to get up and get myself showered and dressed and call an Uber and blah, 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 I needed to put on makeup because this face needs some of that. I mean, if I don't draw on some eyebrows, I have none. I don't, because my hair is blonde. Now I'm graying. So if I don't draw on some eyebrows, you can't see that I have any. So, and I look scary without eyebrows, in my opinion. Like, there are some small children, I think, who would look at me and go, ah, oh, witch, or something, They would think I was going to put them in the oven or something, like Hansel and Gretel. But, anyway, so, I laid there for about 10 more minutes, and then, all of a sudden, the light came on above my head. And I was like, oh my God, I have to be at the doctor in this many minutes. And I really can't move fast. I moved as fast as I could, startled the dogs because they weren't ready to get up yet. Regal was enjoying my heated blanket. And Beethoven was fast asleep underneath his. And I threw back my covers, and Regal jerks his head up and he looks at me like, what are you doing? Grouchy old man in the morning. He does not like to be disturbed. He doesn't mind disturbing. He likes to be the one doing the disturbing, not being disturbed. Same with Beethoven. So, I got around as fast as I could. I threw on some eyebrows, some bronzer. I think I dabbed a little mascara on. I can't tell. I don't remember. I think I did. I usually put on some concealer on my black bags, but I didn't have time for that today. And I tried to do a little something with my hair, and I got the dogs out and back in, and all this time, you know, there wasn't a lot of time. And I was able to catch a ride down to the heart hospital and back. And heart hospital. And I got there in plenty of time because my cardiologist was running late today. My appointment was at 9:30, and I didn't lay eyes on him until almost noon. Good thing I took a crochet bag with me. I didn't get mad. He's a cardiologist, and sometimes people have things that they need him for. And it happens. I was busy crocheting the whole time. But I did get hungry. And if he hadn't have seen me as when he did, I was going to have to excuse myself to go grab a snack. Or then I'd have been hangry. I did set an alarm, actually, but my alarm didn't go off, so the only thing I can figure happened is that my phone has it to where you can set an alarm for a specific day. I may have set it for the wrong day. I haven't looked, I forgot, and I'm actually using the phone for recording this video. So I'll look after I get off the phone, if I remember. It'll probably wake me up some random Thursday. But I made it to my appointment in plenty of time. And got some crocheting done. Hey, I'll even show you. This chain is 300 chains long. I did that last night. And then I had only had about this many double crochets into it. I finished double crocheting. Whoops. I had finished double crocheting into the chain. And then got this far into the Suzette stitch on the second row. So I got this much left of the Suzette. This one is going to be Suzette. First row, double crochet. And then the rest, Suzette. And I just pulled half of that one out, so. But so far, it looks pretty. I don't know if I'm going to leave it at 300 now. But when I measured it last night, it didn't seem like it was that long. It do look pretty long now. But anywho, that's at Premier worsted weight ombre, moss ombre. I'm quite discontented with their ombre for their green. It doesn't ombre like I think it should. We'll just say that. Sorry, Premier, if you hear me, it'd all be better than that. Just saying. It doesn't ombre good enough for me. I'm not happy with it. It needs to be more of a pop of an ombre than just meh. To me, it just looks slightly faded. It needs to be more of an ombre. I showed you this before. But it says, a mom, a woman who loves you unconditionally, always caring, nurturing, and giving. She is worth more than precious gold and must be obeyed. That's my younger son who did that, who got that for me. He's a good boy. He's the one with the husband whose cardigan I made from the Karen macchiato cake. And I had mentioned in another video that I made that I haven't posted yet that my son really liked some squids that I made, and he liked the bee I made, he liked the squids I made, he likes my amigurumi, but he likes my crochet, period, but he will buy stuff from me. Like, he will ask me to make stuff and buy it from me. I don't like it when my kids pay me for stuff, but I think I'm gonna take the money if he offers it, because now I'm gonna need it. He's like my only customer, except for one lady who bought a dragon from me. It was a 4th wing dragon, patterned by Crochet by Jenna. It was that gold one. Beautiful. Great pattern too. Easy to follow if you know how to read patterns. So that's why I'm writing a pattern in order to give an instructional video on how to read patterns. I can't be teaching you how to read somebody else's pattern. So I had to write a pattern to teach you to read patterns. So, anyway, I don't know how long this is. Oh my gosh, it's after. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to edit this down because I did not intend for this to be over an hour long. And I am going to stop this here. I will edit this down. I'm not going to let it be this long. So, see y'all next time. Bye.